What is up, America? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, sitting in for Doc today. It's great to have you with us. We'll be taking your phone calls, as we always do on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. If you have questions about medication, supplements, or the longevity products, or if you just have a comment, or if you'd like to share a success story, we would love to hear from you today. Our number is 831-685-1080. That's your priority line number, or 888-379-2552. 888-379-2552, toll free. I am a nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements in my practice where other healthcare practitioners use drugs and medical procedures. That's because I look at the human body as a healing and regenerating system designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. We don't need doctors, we don't need drugs, we don't need pharmacists, we don't need insurance companies. We simply need our God-given right to good nutrition, good supplements, good food, and good lifestyle. I want to start the program today by talking about DNA, supposedly the master intelligence inside a cell and inside the body. At least that's what we've been told, but as it turns out, and this will come as no surprise to regular listeners of this program, DNA or genes or genetics are not the end-all and be-all that we've been told. They're not the end-all and be-all to health and wellness. As it turns out, there's something that's superior to or transcendent to genetics, and that is epigenetics, EPI, epigenetics, and that is the title of Dr. Wallach's new book, which I'm very excited about, which literally means, epigenetics literally means above or transcended to genetics. You see, as it turns out, our genes, our genetics are flexible. Rather than being permanent and set in stone, as many of us think, genes are flexible and genes are responsive to the environment. Large chunks of genetics turn on and off like Christmas tree lights depending on nutrition, depending on vitamins, depending on minerals. Even our thoughts and our feelings can have a direct effect on our DNA, on our genes, via this epigenetic phenomena. Working with genetics is a drug company brainchild. It allows drug companies to formulate and control our genes via pharmaceuticals. But as it turns out, genetics is trumped by epigenetics. Did you guys catch that? That is so important. We can turn our genetics on and off. We can turn our genes on and off, at least in many cases. Now, certainly some genetics are semi-permanent. Genes that affect, or permanent perhaps, genes that affect eye color or maybe the length of our fingers or our toes. But to a very large extent, we control our own genes. This phenomena of epigenetics is basically the science of how we control our own DNA. There are six major ways that we can modify our own genetics. We talked about this in the past. We always say nutriate. We haven't talked about it as it affects genetics, but we've talked about this in the past. We've said nutriate, respirate, move, and rest. Nutrition, oxygenation, and movement and rest. These are four elements of physical well-being. The foods we eat and the nutrients that we get turn our genes on and off. Lack of key nutritional substances, lack of key proteins, lack of vitamins, lack of minerals, lack of essential fatty acids, lack of what we call the mighty 90 essential nutrients turn genes on and off. Lack of water can do it. Lack of oxygen can do it. Lack of movement can do it. Can you see how fundamental and important this is? Drug companies and drug company scientists were shocked when they found out that there was actually genetic flexibility. This was first discovered back in the 1980s and 1990s. They were doing something called, the drug companies were doing something called the Human Genome Project. The Human Genome Project was a big project largely funded by drug companies who were looking to produce drugs that could control genes. They were hoping to find that you have one gene and one gene would just do one thing. But that's not what they found. Instead, they found that the body is way, way, way more complex than just genes. In fact, we basically have the same genes as monkeys. And a fruit fly has 61% of the same genes that a human being has. But clearly, for the most part anyway, most of us are more complex than monkeys and fruit flies. In any case, this genetic or epigenetic component is controlled by six factors: nutrition, movement, rest, and oxygenation. But in addition to our four square of health, we also have mental and emotional components. And those are the six major factors that control our genes: the foods and the nutrition that we get, the oxygen that we get or don't get, our movement, and our relaxation. As far as the mental and emotional components, we don't talk about these a lot, But we should, and this isn't new age feel-good pseudoscience, this is hardcore biochemistry. This is what it means when we read in Proverbs, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We become our thoughts. We become what we think about via this epigenetic mechanism. And when it comes to the brain itself, do you know that we have fear genes and survival genes that will actually reroute electrical energy, nutritional energy from our higher brain centers, making it more difficult to make decisions and making it more difficult to grow and to repair and to anti-age as well. This is so important from a hardcore biochemical standpoint to understand the power of our thoughts. Via this epigenetic phenomena, we are literally crafted by the power of our thoughts and our feelings. Thoughts and feelings change genetics. Nutrition changes genetics. Oxygen changes genetics. Poisons in the body change genetics. Movement, rest, stress, they all change genetics. So what are our action steps to control our genes via this epigenetic phenomena? Number one, get yourself on a nutritional supplement program today. Get yourself on the Mighty 90. Use the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Get yourself on the Healthy Start Pack. Protein, essential fatty acids, B vitamins, minerals, and zinc. All of these have powerful effects on modifying and controlling our genetics. Calorie restriction is one of the most effective ways to turn on longevity genes, anti-aging genes, growth and repair genes, and getting on a nutritional supplement program is one of the easiest ways to employ caloric restriction. Eat less. Practice being full with less. Use water to fill yourself up. Learn to diaphragmatically breathe. Breathe deeply into the bottom of your body. Get a rebounder. Take brisk walks. Ride a bike. Walk up the stairs. Move your body. And make sure you're getting lots of long, luscious rest and relaxation. Activate that epigenetic growth and repair response. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Our number, 831-685-1080. That is your priority line number, or toll-free, 888-379-2552. We're going to take a break and come back with more good health information right after this on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network.
Great to have you on the show, as always.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about a Fox News story here that it's part of the Fox has their medical expert, Dr. Manny Alvarez, and somebody had written a question into him, asking him, is there a downside to taking over-the-counter medications for gas and bloating? Says the problem of excess gas and bloating, but is it safe to take medication regularly? Says most over-the-counter medications used to treat gas symptoms contain the active ingredient simethicone, and said it works by allowing gas bubbles in the stomach and intestines to come together, making it easier to pass gas and relieve painful pressure. Say the ingredient is safe for babies, children, and adults, and has no known side effects when taken in the correct dosage, even when taken daily. However, he says prevention is the best medicine, and he's recommending things you should try before you go for some of these over-the-counter gas relievers. He says avoid eating gas-inducing foods, eat and drink slowly, don't drink through a straw. I'd never heard that one before. I didn't realize that contributed to gas, but I can see
you get more gas when you suck in more air when you drink through a straw.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly though. It's a little silly.
I don't like straws myself. I always end up poking myself in the eye with it.
I've done that. I always feel stupid when I do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it too.
No, I pull the thing out first. And they say skip gum and hard candy. They say avoid
what about food?
Carbonated drinks, beer, and that releases carbon dioxide gas. And they say and he recommends some what he calls natural remedies. He said drink a cup of strong peppermint tea after meals, and use probiotics, natural enzymes, and a few drops of bitters before eating. And I found the last line of the story here really kind of comical. It's important to remember you should always talk to your doctor before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Because doctor knows best.
And it's like, it's like...
Does that make you mad?
Well, it kind of does, because I went gluten-free, as you know, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't go running to the doctor, go, gee, is it okay if I stop eating wheat, or should I continue to eat wheat and destroy my small intestines? It's this whole notion that you have no control over your body, and then it's some guy that went to Harvard Medical School or Stanford or something. He's the expert, and you got to follow his advice like it's the gospel. And it's just not
It's a
true.
slap in our face,
It sure
Doug.
is. I take it personally.
Yes,
that it's like I'm too ignorant to know whether, I realize that when I eat dairy products or drink milk that I get real mucusy. Maybe I should have a reaction to that. So I better go to ask my doctor if I can stop drinking milk. I mean, that's just stupid.
But Doug, what medical school did you go to?
Dr. Wallach's medical school.
That's what they say.
I've been working with you guys for 15 years and doing studies myself, online and reading things for 15 years, and I've learned that the medical industry doesn't know anything. They can't treat chronic disease.
They can't, Doug, because at the end of the day, chronic disease occurs at the level of a cell. And there's absolutely nothing a medicine, a drug, a device, a surgical procedure, a doctor, or a pharmacist for that matter, can do at the level of a cell. At the level of a cell, all we can do is block things from happening. We cannot induce health at the level of a cell. Only God can. Only the divine force can. Through food, through nutrition, through oxygen, through detoxification, through movement. All of these things that I just talked about at the beginning of the program, referring to epigenetics. These are the ways that we control the behavior of a cell. Through the foods we eat and also our thoughts and feelings and the nutrition we're getting and all these other factors. There's no drugs that can do it. This is why you always hear anti-hypertensive or anti-coagulant or anti-inflammatory or anti-biotic. Have you ever heard of a pro-medicine? The only pro-medicine is probiotics, and that's not even a medicine.
Probiotics.
That's the only one. Have you ever heard of a drug that has the prefix pro in it? No, there are none. Because drugs aren't pro-anything. They're anti. They're anti-life at the end of the day. And I got a bunch of emails yesterday. I was on Alex Jones, and I was kind of ripping into drugs. I was kind of angry yesterday, and I got ripped into drugs, and I got a couple of emails from people who were saying things like, oh, you're a fanatic, and you're an extremist, and drugs this, and drugs have good benefits, and I can't live without my drugs. We'll continue this when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. Got some lines open for you at 831-685-1080 or toll-free 888-379-2552. We'll be back right after this. I'm Pharmacist Ben along with Doug Winfrey. Don't go away. Got more good health information coming at you right after this. Doug, before we went to break, I was talking about drugs and medications, and I was on Alex's show, Alex Jones's show yesterday, and we were talking about pharmaceuticals and the problem with this pharmaceutical model, this idea that we can just treat ourselves with drugs. You got a problem, you just go get a drug. Or you got a problem, you just go to the doctor and he'll give you a drug or device or take out one of your organs. And I'm not Pollyannish about the idea of pharmaceuticals. There's times when we need pharmaceuticals, but it's our reliance on drugs that's the problem. It's the idea that we can use prescription drugs and not have to worry about the foods we eat, not have to worry about the lifestyle choices that we make because, after all, there's a prescription drug that we can take.
And what about the prescription drugs to treat the side effects of other prescription drugs?
That's the one time you need drugs, is to protect yourself from the other drugs. No, of course not. All drugs, except for two kinds of drugs, and that's antibiotics, which obviously have had a tremendous impact on our ability to withstand bugs and viruses, bugs and germs, not viruses, but bacteria. And I'm obviously a proponent of antibiotics. You have to be crazy not to understand the importance of antibiotics occasionally when they're absolutely necessary. And also pain pills. In my humble opinion, as a pharmacist, all medicine cabinets need to have some pain pills in there because you never know when you're going to need a pain pill. But it's the antihypertensives and the anti-inflammatories and the anticoagulants, these drugs that force and compel the human body to do what it would rather not do, that's the problem. The human body, if the blood is clotting, there's a reason that the blood is clotting. And to sit there, as bad as it is for your blood to be thick and sludgy and clotted, the response is not to take a poison that shuts down the clotting system. If you have inflammation in your knee or in your joints or wherever you have your inflammation, the idea is to respect and respond to the inflammation, to answer the inflammation, to figure out what the heck is going on that's causing the body to inflame, and then to correct the problem. Not to use drugs, which at the end of the day, folks, I'm talking they're poisons, and I don't mean metaphorically. The body has to process them as if they were poisons. We have a poison control system located in our livers. And the liver's poison control system uses nutrients to detoxify things like pharmaceutical drugs. And this, by the way, Doug, when you read about side effects of drugs, you don't read about side effects of drugs in terms of what they're costing us to digest and process and to utilize, to absorb and to detoxify. You read about the side effects of the drugs themselves, but the drugs cause vitamin C deficiencies and B complex deficiencies and magnesium deficiencies, copper deficiencies, zinc deficiencies, because all of these nutrients are used up, these precious nutrients that most of us aren't getting anywhere near enough of anyway. These things are used up by the liver and by the detoxifying system to get rid of those drugs. So not only do you have side effects from the drugs, but now you got to deal with side effects from zinc deficiency and B complex deficiency and vitamin C deficiency. Vitamin C, for example, is very important for the production of serotonin. So if you're dealing with a serotonin problem, how do you know it's not a prescription drug that's causing a vitamin C deficiency, which is in turn causing a serotonin problem? You don't. Of course, if you go to the doctor and you have low serotonin levels, guess what you're going to get? That's right, a prescription drug. Anyway, this is the craziness of our medical model, and this is why we do this program, to expose the lunacy of the modern pharmacomedical paradigm. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Doc today, and we do have a couple lines open for you at 831-685-1080 or toll-free 888-379-2552. If you've got questions about the longevity products, health, nutrition, prescription drugs, we can help you out. We'd love to hear from you. We'll take a time out and come back with your phone calls. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network.
Yeah, let's head to Brooklyn, New York. And Barbara, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Barbara.
And how are you?
Greetings. Good. I hear they're cleaning up Brooklyn. Is that true? Make it all gentrified?
They are.
Nice little outdoor cafes and all that?
Absolutely.
In Brooklyn?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. I have a
How can we
question
help
for
you
you,
today?
please.
Yeah.
I have low blood pressure and have had it since 1999 that I know. I'm taking presently midodrine and fludrocortisone.
What's the second? What kind of cortisone?
Fludrocortisone.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Cortisone, I know, but...
Fludrocortisone.
I haven't heard of that. It's a type of steroid drug.
Fludrocortisone.
Oh, fludrocortisone. Now, you're taking that orally? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Why are they giving... Do you have a liver issue? Why are they giving you that?
It was to hold the salt or something in the...
Okay.
Whatever.
Right. Cortisone
At
to jack up your blood pressure a little bit? All right.
Right. Okay. Took it this morning with 77/45. That's sort of normal. It was registering somewhere around 50 a few months ago. So basically that's it. I just started the Healthy Start Pack, and I only got 2 items, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the EFA, the Ultimate Plus, and I since ordered the Beyond Osteo FX and Selenium.
Let's figure. Well, hang tight here, ma'am. Tell me what's going on with the low blood pressure. What does that do? Do they know what's going on? Do you have heart disease, or do you have what's going on? Why do they think you have low blood pressure?
They haven't been able to determine anything at all.
All right.
Nothing.
All right. Well, usually the first thing I think of when you have low blood pressure is a liver issue. There's a protein that you make in the liver called albumin. Have you heard of this? Did they check your albumin? They probably check it all the time, no? Albumin is a protein that holds on to water, and that'll make your blood pressure go up. In fact, this is one of the major ways that the body manipulates or adjusts blood pressure is by the production of albumin. So the first thing you might want to think about is focusing on liver health issues. Now, I don't know if you have any other symptoms. Usually, if you have a liver problem, you're also going to have a digestive problem. That's the major reason why people have liver issues, although certainly there's other reasons. Hepatitis and diabetes can also affect the liver. If you have a liver problem, you're not going to make these blood proteins. If you don't make the blood proteins, your blood pressure you won't be able to get your blood pressure where it needs to be. So first and foremost, let's focus on the liver. That means probiotics, digestive health. It's great that you're on the Healthy Start Pack. That's awesome, especially the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. But I'd be working first with the digestive system and also with protein. Do you notice any digestive issues over the last couple of years since you had the blood pressure problem, gas, bloating, problems with certain foods or anything like that? Ma'am?
Not really. However, the elimination is, I'm always forcing.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking here. That can impair circulation. That can impair circulation through the liver, and that can definitely affect the liver. So what you want to do is you want to start to link your elimination problems to specific foods. Cheese can do it. Cheese and dairy are big time clogging foods. If you like cheese and dairy or eating a lot of those, eating a lot of cheese, that can do it. Other foods can do it too. So see if you can connect your elimination problems to specific foods. And then probiotics are really interesting, especially if you have constipation. Hang tight, and we'll finish up when we come back from our break, Barb. Don't go away. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We're coming back with more of your phone calls and more good health information right after this. Don't go away. All right, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program talking to Barb in Brooklyn. Barb, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Barb?
Thank you.
Okay, here's a couple of things I want you to think about. First of all, do you notice any dizziness or any weird kinds of feelings when you stand up quickly, or when you're lying down in bed and you get up quickly, or if you're bending down and you stand up quickly? Anything like that?
That
Dizziness?
seems to have passed.
Okay, you've had that in the past.
I did have that in the past,
okay.
Right? But now
the medication
my problem mainly.
Well, the medication may be controlling that. Here's what I'm thinking is going on here, my dear. It sounds to me like you've got some kind of either adrenal problem or liver problem. Your adrenal glands are your body's stress glands. The liver is the structure that's making blood proteins that keeps the blood nice and thick. And the fact that you're constipated, that kind of tells me there's some sort of stressor going into the body. When you're constipated, that means there's some kind of activation of the stress response system. So here's a couple of strategies for you. Number one, probiotics are incredibly, incredibly important for the entire digestive system. They can help with the constipation pretty quickly. You know, our stools are made largely made up of bacteria from the colon. And if we have any kind of digestive problems, and it sounds like you do have that, you may not have enough bacteria or the right kinds of bacteria in your gut, and that can affect constipation, and that can also affect blood proteins as well. So I would be making sure that I got on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. That's my favorite of the probiotic supplements. As important as the Healthy Start Pack is, so is the Biolumin Nightly Essence, especially for digestive problems. That would be step number one. Step number two, make sure you're getting enough protein. Whey protein, the Slender FX whey protein, or any kind of whey protein, because of the albumin. That can help. And eggs also are a wonderful source of albumin. That can help support blood health, maybe support blood pressure a little bit. And then make sure that you're working on doing things for the liver. Vitamin E is really important for the liver. The B complex, which you'll get in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, is also very important for the liver. And don't forget about good old vitamin C. Sometimes we underestimate the importance of vitamin C because it's so familiar. And then the last very important thing is not a nutritional strategy. It's more like a lifestyle strategy, and that's deep breathing. Practice slow, deep breathing techniques, and that can help you with the constipation and some of that stress response that it sounds like it's going on in the body. So Beyond Tangy Tangerine, vitamin E, vitamin C, the Slender FX to get your whey protein going, and please don't forget the Biolumin Nightly Essence, deep breathing, and make sure you're associating the constipation with problem foods and eliminating those foods. When I say deep breathing also, by the way, when you're sitting, without being graphic here, my dear, but when you're sitting on the john and you're constipated, instead of pushing, try to relax and breathe outwards. So you're breathing in and then out, in and then out, but concentrate on the out breath. And then relax your whole body. This is how you want to deal with constipation. Everybody out there, the last thing you want to do, Barb, is push, because pushing actually closes everything up. Even though it seems logical that the pushing action would help us eliminate, that's not what happens. The pushing action actually closes everything up. It's the relaxation, the anti-pushing, if you will, that opens up the bottom part of the body and allows us to eliminate cleanly. I hope that helps you out, Barb. Thanks so much for your call. All right, see if we can get another call in before break. Douglas?
Let's head to Michigan. And Dave, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Ben. Thanks for exposing the lunacy, and I love John Alex Jones. It was a great interview.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. What's going on?
My friend's daughter has been trying to get pregnant. Her husband's a young soldier.
Okay.
She's had irregular menstrual cycles since puberty, and
Got it.
She went to a specialist, and I don't think they had any results, but her dad finally got her on the BTT, the Healthy Start Pack, and selenium. She's been on the products for about 6 weeks, The other night, yesterday actually, she was going to the bathroom and she passed a blood clot, and then immediately had severe cramps where she was crying. They took her to the hospital. And
endometriosis.
Well, no, they said that she was 5 weeks pregnant and she had a miscarriage. How do they know that?
Here's the deal. I'm not sure how they know it, but this is a woman that's got some major estrogen imbalances. Estrogen's a female hormone, not really, but it's found in abundance in the female body. Males make it too. It's also involved with growing a baby. It's involved with growing cells, and most importantly, estrogen is involved with the stress response in the body. And the fact that she can't make a baby and also has estrogen problems they work together. Estrogen is birth control. If you're on a birth control pill, ladies know, if they take the birth control pill, they're taking estrogen. Why? Estrogen shuts down the body's ability to conceive. So when a woman, or anybody really, but for your friend, when a woman is under stress, just like what we were talking about, Barb, when the stress response kicks in, that's called the sympathetic nervous system response, your body's not going to let you make a baby. Having menstrual cycle problems is a classic cry for some kind of estrogen problem, or a classic demonstration of some kind of estrogen problem. So a couple things you want to do. Anybody out there listening, if you have PMS, if you have endometriosis, if you can't conceive a baby, if you got fibroids, if you got cysts, number one, focus on fats and fat absorption. That means the ultimate essential fatty acids. That means the biolumin nightly essence. And that means the entire Healthy Start Pack. And it wouldn't hurt. I think you did say she's on the ultimate enzymes. If you didn't say that, then get her on the ultimate enzymes after meals and between meals as well. Between meals can help thin the blood a little bit and keep the circulatory system operating the way it needs to operate. Then there's some nutrients that can help stabilize and balance estrogen in a non-fatty kind of way. Magnesium is chief among those nutrients. And interestingly, if you have problems absorbing fats or utilizing fats or digesting fats, you're also going to have a problem with magnesium, because magnesium absorption requires a healthy fat absorption system. So use the OsteoMag. One of the neatest things about the OsteoMag, and really one of the neatest things about a lot of the longevity products, and this is why Dr. Wallach was so prescient, so advanced. His understanding of the human body is just spectacular. He knew that liquid nutrition is really the way that you want to get your nutrients. When you use liquids like the OsteoMag and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Ultimate Classic products, you get your nutrients without having to worry about absorption and without having to worry about the digestive system. The nutrients go right to work. So get your friend on the OsteoMag, and of course, if she's not on the BTT, she really should be. The selenium is also neat. Selenium has got some wonderful estrogen protection properties. So if you're dealing with cysts or fibroids or having problems conceiving, or if you have PMS or endometriosis or menstrual problems of any kind, in addition to using magnesium and in addition to using the B complex and the Healthy Start Pack and the Biolumin Nightly Essence, there's all kinds of wonderful ways that you can take care and balance your estrogenic issues. OsteoMag, B complex, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and then the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Let's see if there's anything else I want to tell you about. Progesterone cream, progesterone. You know, progesterone means pro-pregnancy, and progesterone actually balances out estrogen. Estrogen is an anti-pregnancy hormone or anti-conception hormone. It helps build a baby, but it will keep you from conceiving. Progesterone balances out estrogen, and progesterone cream is actually the hormone that makes you get pregnant, that helps you conceive a baby. So maybe a little bit of a little progesterone cream might help too. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it very much. And let's see, can we get another in, or are we going?
We could get one started here. Let's head to Canada. And Nadja, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Nadja.
Hi.
What's going on?
I got quite a bit of gray hair, and that's my concern.
That's the worst of your problems? That's not too bad. Don't say gray. It's not gray. It's silver, by the way, Nadja. We don't use that gray word. Silver. I got lots of silver hair myself, so I know all about it. Is that the only problem you have? You're perfectly healthy except for the silver hair. How old are you, Nadja? Are you a young gal?
That's 32.
32, and you're starting to get some silver hair. Okay, so here's a couple things for you. What we want to do when you have silver hair, and 32 is a little bit young for your hair to start going silver, here's what you want to focus on. Other things that are going wrong in the body. The hair will turn silver and turn gray when the pigment-making cells that live in the hair follicles start to die off. And this happens as we get older, probably due to nutritional deficiencies and lifestyle factors. But if it's happening when you're younger, that means there's something else probably percolating along, and we need to know what that is so we can take care of the problem. So hang tight, Nadja. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. We're going to take a break and come back with more of your phone calls on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Nadja in Canada. You there, my dear?
Yes.
Okay, so you got cells that make pigments. They live inside the follicles of your hair. And as the hair is growing, the pigment cells dump their pigment into the hair, and the hair becomes pigmented. But when those pigment-making cells start to die off, that doesn't happen, thus the silver hair. Now, there's nutritional supplements you can take that help you make pigment. Copper is one, and the Ultimate Selenium also has some copper in it, too. So that might be something that you might want to think about. But I would be focusing on other things that are happening inside your body. Now, you're very young. Only 32. I hope you know that. You're extremely young, so it's kind of early to start getting some of these cells dying off. Not tremendously early. Some people will get silver hair in their 30s, but I would be focusing on other things that are going on in the body. Now, the most likely suspect is going to be a digestive problem of some kind, and constipation, bloating, gas, burping, heartburn, nausea, cramping, loose stools. All of these are clues that there's certain foods that are not getting processed correctly. Does that sound familiar at all, Nadja?
Oh, just constipation, all the other stuff.
Okay. Oh, no. That's not just. There's no just before constipation. That's a very important clue. Because if you're constipated, number one, what it means is you're not eliminating toxins out of the body and they're starting to build up. And number two, it means you're eating the wrong kind of food on some level. So you got to figure out what that is. What kind of food is getting into the system that's causing that constipation? That's step number one, and then eliminate that food. That's step number one. And then step number two is to start to support the digestive system. The probiotics, the Biolumin Nightly Essence is your superstar digestive health supplement. And for all health issues, all health issues, I consider them a majorly important nutritional supplement. Even if you're healthy, the Biolumin Nightly Essence is a tremendous nutritional supplement. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but the Z radical is also really neat for the digestive system. It can help coat and soothe the digestive system, as well as help the cells of the digestive system repair themselves. And there's multiple benefits. There's also immune system benefits to the Z radical. There's blood thinning benefits to the Z radical also. So using those can help. The digestive enzymes can be very important for helping your process food correctly, and that's something else that you might want to think about. And then get yourself on liquid nutrients, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And then if you're constipated and you just absolutely need to go, but you can't go, number one, we were talking earlier about deep breathing, and that is very important when you're trying to eliminate. Make sure that you're focusing on relaxing the lower part of your body, as well as focusing on the exhale. The exhale is where the body relaxes. And then, Doug, you had a hot tip for loosening up the bowels. What was that? Why don't you tell our Nadja in Canada?
Oh, yeah, the Ultimate Classic product, at least for myself, really causes some loose bowel stuff. It's really high in vitamin C, so I suspect that's what
pull everything
going
through.
on
So
there.
that might be something to think about as well. The magnesium is a great laxative too, and everybody needs magnesium anyway, especially women. You know, you lose magnesium in your blood when you have your period. So women can be deficient, can become very quickly deficient in magnesium, especially if you have heavy periods. Are your periods okay? Your cycles okay, Nadja?
No, that's a big problem.
Oh, Nadja, you didn't tell me that. That's a huge problem. Yeah, I'm surprised that your hair is not only going gray, because sometimes your hair will actually come out when you have menstrual. Is your hair thinning at all?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Nadja, now we're getting to the crux of the matter. It sounds like you're having some menstrual cycle. It's all related. You know, it's all connected. So do everything that we just told you about, but you're going to also now have to start to focus on fats and fat malabsorption. Like I was saying to the last caller, any kind of period problems, menstrual cycle problems, irregular periods, heavy periods, PMS, you want to focus on the hormone estrogen and stabilizing that out. And that means fats and fat absorption. That means the essential fatty acids and the digestive enzymes, Ultimate EFAs. That is a stupendously important product for menstrual cycles. In fact, there are women who have their menstrual cycles stabilized within 2 cycles once they get on the Ultimate EFAs. But it's not just that, but definitely the Ultimate EFAs. in addition to the ultimate enzymes. Focus on that female hormone system, and everything else we just told you about will help too. Thanks for your call, Nadja. Appreciate it. Got to move on. Let's see if we can get a couple more in before we... that's it. That's all the time we have for today on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Thanks for listening, folks. I'm Pharmacist Ben. No matter what your health condition is, get yourself on a good nutritional supplement program, and you'll notice you're feeling better quickly. Most folks within 1 or 2 days. And a good nutritional supplement program, I'm talking about the Healthy Start Pack, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Ultimate Essential Fatty Acids, and the OsteoFX. Thanks for listening, folks. I'm Pharmacist Ben for Doug Winfrey and for Dr. Wallach and all the folks at the ZBS Radio Network. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome day. We'll talk to you all later, folks. Bye for now.
Dead Doctor.